Hello friends, and welcome to the third installment of this buying guide, and what I think will be the last one until I get a whole bunch of new places to tell you about. Anyway, this one will cover corset supplies, patterns, and commissions. I'm just going to give you a few examples of people who do commissions and talk about that a little bit, but for the most part we got patterns and we got corsetry stuff coming up in this video. As with all the other videos, if you have places that I have missed or I don't shop at so I didn't know about, please leave them down below in the comments and I will go through and like collate them at some point and put them up in the main area so that the list will just become longer so you guys can come back to it when you need it. Alright, let's get started. Okay, let's start things off here with my very favorite pattern company, which is Truly Victorian. They seem to work for me very well because my body type happens to work for them very well. I know that some people love their patterns and some people find them needing of adjustment, so it's just something you would have to try. The reason I love Truly Victorian is that they have pretty much every period of the Victorian era, and they even roll into Edwardian a bit. So for those of you who are into the 1890s all the way up to the 1910s, they do have patterns that will work for those eras, and they usually have all the layers of those patterns, which I really, really enjoy. If you are into the two bustle areas, they absolutely have you covered, along with the natural form in the middle. They do cover you for all the garments that you would need to wear, all your different layers, so they cover you from your corset all the way out to your hats usually. So there are lots of patterns in here for you to choose from, and I find them to have the widest selection of Victorian patterns. Next up, we have Laughing Moon Mercantile. This is a brand new site. I've never actually used this site before, and I was actually going to come in here and commentate about how much I love their patterns, but how much I dislike their website. So this is absolutely fantastic because they have taken that problem away from us. I really like Laughing Moon patterns because they come with basically an instruction book. It is very hard to mess their patterns up because they explain every single step. There's pictures, drawings, all that kind of stuff in there, and I really like how they give their instructions. Looks like they've split their website up into women's and men's patterns throughout the ages, and they cover everything from Regency through Edwardian level stuff over here. I definitely recommend Laughing Moon, especially to people who are beginner or mid-level sewers. You will find their instructions very complete and very satisfying to work with. Here we have Black Snail Patterns. They sell through Etsy and they provide patterns in both PDF format as well as printed patterns, so you can have them sent to you. There are often sales on these patterns and they are a steal, especially if you want electronic versions of these patterns. I did make the vest, the ladies vest from this, and I will try and link that video down below for you. I enjoyed the pattern. I thought it was really well made. The fit was correct. The instructions were very complete. I find that most people really, really enjoy these patterns. The fantail skirt is a skirt of legend as far as I can tell. Many people like it. And what I really, really like about Black Snail Patterns is that they're very size inclusive. So they have patterns that fit women from very trim all the way up to the more stout sizes. Next we have Fig Leaf Patterns. These guys are also legendary for having really great instructions. People tend to really like their patterns and they make up beautifully and easily. They have patterns from the 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries, and they have all different kinds: men's, women's, underwear, children's. Looks like they have household craft patterns. I kind of want to know what that is. Oh, okay. You can make yourself a warm plate chicken. Wow, that's pretty cool. A housewife for sure, and a book bag. That's cool. So what I really like about this website actually is they also show you the pattern made up in a real versions. You can see people's actual construction of their garments here, and they do that for almost all of their patterns. They do have a lot of Regency and Federalist patterns that look rather amazing, and I do have a few of these and I sort of think I might need more now. That is the problem with making these buying guides, is I tend to spend a lot of money while I'm making them. Welcome to Wearing History. This is another costumer owned website. Lots of these actually are. She sells regular patterns, so patterns that come on paper from this site, and she also has an Etsy store if you want to get her patterns in the electronic version. If you like to print them out and tape them together yourself, you can do that. That's faster and cheaper. She has tons of different patterns from tons of different eras, and it seems to be that she just sort of looks around for what she feels like she wants to create a pattern out of. She's usually a person who makes them out of existing garments, takes a pattern from them, and then grades it up. She does have lots and lots of stuff available in larger sizes, which makes me very happy. And she also resells a lot of other makers' patterns, so she does have truly Victorian. I think there was a list in here of all the different pattern companies that she supplies for. So Laughing Moon, Romantic Recollection, Scroop, Sobrit, Folkwear, all of these. So these are all available from her shop as well if you'd like to buy all your patterns together at one time. Her patterns are super cute. Look at this cute little cape. Man, that's adorable. Quick little shout out to Lauren, who is the owner of this company. This is my favorite dress of all time. She made this one out of this truly Victorian pattern and wore it to costume college, and I fangirled harder than I've ever fangirled in my life. I have met actual celebrities that I freaked out less about when I saw them show up. This is the most beautiful dress I think I've ever seen, and it is goals for me to possibly make it someday. I do actually have this fabric. Here we have Decades of Style. You guys might know that from the great caftan adventure that I went on. I loved this pattern. This is one of the most comfortable garments I've ever owned. I did make the long version. Part of me really wants to make the short version as well, although this long version is just divine and so comfortable to wear. Highly recommend. She does have patterns here from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and modern wear patterns for you if you're interested in making them. She is very size inclusive, and lots of these patterns are super simple and easy to make for beginners. Look at that, that's so cute. Lots of people have made these overalls, and man, they are adorable. I'm kind of thinking about it. Okay, everyone knows my deep and abiding love for Lynn McMasters, and this is her site. Oh, we just made these together, and I had such a good time doing that, but my feather does not look like that. She has this wonderful website in which she gives lots of instructions and tutorials for how to do stuff, which I find very, very helpful. She also, of course, has patterns that you can order, which are usually her hat patterns here, but a lot of people don't know that she's also into fans, and she does have a whole bunch of fan items as well. Anyway, you can find all kinds of, from 14th to 20th century patterns, which is amazing. Here we have a bunch of Regency patterns. This is the bonnet that I wore. This is the actual bonnet that I wore to the Jane Austen Festival in Bath, for those of you who remember that. This is that pattern split up into a bunch of smaller patterns, the jockey caps. They are so cute. She offers you both on those. You can get one pattern that has all of the patterns together, but you have to do a little bit of jerry rigging, or you can buy them all separately for, of course, a smaller price, just to get the ones that you want in separate printed out patterns. She also has a lot of Victorian patterns, which I, of course, just adore. Lynn is a brilliant hat maker. Also, she has downloadable patterns. She has some free. She has a fan box pattern. She has a hat box pattern here to learn how to make your own hat box to any size you'd like. It's octagonal. She gave me one for my 18th century hat, which I absolutely adore. She also has downloadable patterns and kits, including this telescoping umbrella, which I think is amazing. She will send you a whole kit. It's kind of a process to get through this. You have to pick which fabric you want and which lining fabric you want. There's a whole bunch of choices that you get to make this fan, but it's a really cool fan. It starts out as this little tube right here and then actually telescopes out and opens up to make a fan. So it's super cute. I think that this thing is amazing, and I have one and I will try to make it. Hopefully I will get that on my channel for you guys to watch. So she also has a fan order page if you're interested in making different fans. She of course has that telescoping fan kit that you can buy here, which you can choose from a variety of colors. She also has the 18th century fashion plate fan, so you can have a look at what this fan looks like here, and then go ahead and make that fan. All of her fans are absolutely beautiful. I have never seen her make one that I just didn't think was amazing. Lynn's prices are very reasonable. Ooh, I really want to make one of these. Here I go spending money again. Alright, in this video we have both patterns as well as corset supplies, and very confusingly and awesomely, Redthreaded will qualify for you for both of them. You can go ahead and go to her shop here. You can buy pre-made corsets. You can also buy corset patterns, corset kits, busks, all sorts of things. So if you need corset supplies, this is the place to be. The reason we are here right now, though, is for her patterns. Here are the patterns that Cynthia has available. She has them for many different eras, everything from Georgian, sort of 18th century, all the way up through Victorian corsets. And you do need to make sure to order your own size of patterns because the patterns don't come with multiple sizes. They only come with the one size that you are. If you're worried or confused about that process, you can come over here to the size chart area, and she gives you a very detailed explanation on how to go ahead and measure yourself for your size, including a video. Back here on the pattern page, I just wanted to also alert you that you can get paper patterns and e-patterns. Both are available to you should you want them. I think her e-patterns get sold through Etsy. And again, do make sure that you're buying the size that you want. Here we are at Scroop Patterns. I have tried this fantail skirt and it is absolutely amazing, and I am looking forward to making these Augusta stays. These are sort of also legendary in the costuming community. Scroop does have a variety of different patterns and eras to choose from. You can get them in PDF patterns as well, so that you can print them off and make them at home. They do have amazing sales, and they do sell modern clothes as well. So if you want to make yourself a hoodie, they got you. You want to make yourself a post-Edwardian corset? Here you go. This one is a highly recommended to me, but I have never used this pattern shop before. But the Tudor / medieval folks that I am friends with do enjoy this website. There are tons of Tudor patterns if that is what you are into. Let's have a look at this catalog here. If you are rolling through King Henry VIII, some Queen Elizabeth, that sort of era, you are in luck here. Those of you who go to Ren Fair, this is for you. She does seem to have a lot of patterns, and this pattern company comes very highly recommended to me with patterns that are easy to understand and follow. Here we have Bootstrap Fashions. Lots and lots of people have been trying and succeeding in making their own dress forms from Bootstrap Patterns. They are famous for actually getting your sizes. You give them all your measurements and sort of describe your belly shape, that sort of thing. And they will pop you out a pattern that is very specific to you and your body type. It's slightly less perfect than having, say, your body scanned or something like that, and then one exactly made for you, but this one is significantly cheaper. You can probably whip yourself out an exactly you-sized mannequin for somewhere under $100. Lots and lots of people have videos on that. The great thing about these dress forms is they fit you, so they have all kinds of sizes. It's an interesting process. The pattern itself is, like I said here, $37. You do need to provide yourself a stand and all the innards and the fabric and stuff like that, which is how I came to my somewhere around $100. Another interesting part here is you can make yourself an arm, which is seriously useful sometimes. Something that people don't know about Bootstrap because they think they just make mannequin patterns. They also sell tons and tons of other patterns. So if you'd like to make yourself a sloper, you can totally do that with them, but if you'd like to just make yourself some modern clothing, Bootstrap actually has you covered for that too. Their patterns are PDF, and check it out, they're super cheap. You'd like to whip yourself up some fashionable clothing for wearing around, Bootstrap actually has you covered in a lot more ways than you might imagine. Next up we have the Recollections of J.P. Ryan patterns. She does have gentlemen's patterns here as well as some ladies' patterns. I have many of these patterns. In fact, the Spencer that I made and wore to the Jane Austen Festival in Bath is this early Spencer jacket. It is a very simple pattern to make. It doesn't have very many pieces. It doesn't take up very much fabric. I really enjoyed it. She has all kinds of 18th century patterns. I think I own a great deal of these. I do have these stays and I really enjoyed making them. They are very, very comfortable. I've also made this robe anglaise, and I have also made this française at some point or another. I think I've also made these pocket hoops. Her patterns are a little bit more advanced, so I wouldn't say a beginner is probably the best place to start with JP Ryan patterns. She does presume that you know how to finish things in the usual way, if you know what I mean. Her patterns are taken off of extant garments, and they are very, very specific to very specific pieces of clothing, but they are also very beautiful. They go together well, and her instructions are solid. They are just frequently very complicated and don't always contain a lot of photographs / drawings to work with. Other than that, I really like her patterns, and I like that she has sizes available up to at least my size. Quick shout out to Amber, who is Virgil's Fine Goods here on Etsy. She does have a few patterns. She was involved in the Augustus Days project. She also has a collage pattern out currently, and her Scotty, which is her bum pad, and a little girl's pattern. She is working right now to create more and more patterns, so keep your eye on this shop, as I'm sure it will get filled out. She is chucking these out pretty quickly. And lastly, in the pattern category, I'm going to talk about Amazon dry goods, which I'm very sorry, when I was doing my pattern clean out, I said something about where to get the Regency Woman's Wardrobe pattern, which is amazing, the La Mode Bagatelle pattern. And Amazon dry goods actually contacted me to thank me for sending you guys over, but they also sort of ran out of stock because they had never had that many orders for that pattern all at one time before. So good job, guys, you broke her, which is it's great. Anyway, most people don't know about this site, but they do stock a lot of different patterns from a lot of different eras. So if you are anything from medieval to 1950s, they have patterns for you. The La Mode Bagatelle pattern is, of course, this one right here. It is all the different ladies' Regency things that you would need to make all in one pattern. It's quite an expensive pattern, but absolutely worth it. And for a very long time, it was one of the only patterns for Regency on the market. This site does contain a lot of different patterns. They carry a lot of different pattern companies, like this is S&S Patterns. This is definitely a Laughing Moon pattern. You can kind of tell from the drawings what company makes them. But they conglomerate, here's a fig leaf, this is another Laughing Moon. They conglomerate a lot of pattern companies together, so you can come here and just buy all your patterns from one place. So while they are not manufacturing their own patterns, they do carry a large variety of patterns. So if you're looking for something and you can't find it, you might want to check this place out. Okay, the next section I would like to talk to you guys about is the fact that you guys can, in fact, commission things. Just because you want something historical doesn't mean you have to make it yourself, which is fantastic. So I have a few places that I can recommend, people that I know that do take commissions. You are certainly welcome to ask any of the costumers you know if they take commissions. Please be very, very respectful of them if they say no. I don't take commissions, and I don't take them for a lot of very good reasons. One, I could never ever charge what my time is worth to actually make someone else a costume. Also, it's sort of a nerve-wracking thing to do, and those people who do take commissions are very, very brave. So please give them a little bit of props. This is my buddy Brielle. She takes commissions, and usually you can, like, this is her shop, but you can come here and it says, go ahead and contact me if you have any questions about things or want to do a custom order. So, interested in a costume you would like to discuss possible commissions, send her an idea. Please make sure that you have a very solid idea of what you want in mind when you contact people for a commission. There's also lots of costumers who have done videos on, hey, this is how you engage in a commission. And they can walk you through the steps of contacting people and talking to them and making all that sort of initial first steps. Also, please be aware that commissions aren't cheap. The fact that you don't want to make the thing should tell you something. And the fact that you want to have someone else make it for you should also tell you something. So remember, you're not just paying for their time and the supplies, you're also paying for the years of learning that they had to do in order to professionally make you something that you will then be proud to wear. So be ready for the cost of that. Anyway, I can recommend Brielle. She is fantastic. I have, in fact, this very cloak I have in my closet right now, and it is absolutely stunning. She has made for me. She does do commissions, and she's very flexible. She's very good at fantasy, Renaissance fair, that sort of thing, kind of costumes. She's very flexible though, so if you have something else that you're interested in that's very specific, like all of these keywords that are listed up here are there for a reason. These are the things that she's very good at. So you can go ahead and talk to her if you're interested in something in this sort of realm. If you're looking for some beautiful, historically accurate pieces, you can contact Historical Belle. She has a website with a contact form on it, which you can fill out, and she will ping you back and you can start the process of getting your commission started. Be aware that her timeframes and costs are indicative of her busy schedule and how long it takes to make these things. You can come look through her finished projects here if you'd like to see sort of her style. If you can tell from here that she's very historically accurate, that she likes the 1850s and 60s. That's what I'm getting, 40s from here. Here's a beautiful bustle. So if you're interested in this sort of Victorian era, but clearly she does others, come on over and give Historical Belle a try. She is absolutely charming. She's a very pleasant person. Please be very kind to her. I am now on the Instagram page of Constance McKenzie. This is a little insider tip. Constance does take commissions. So if you're interested in getting a professional Hollywood/London movie maker to make you a costume, Constance is the girl for you. Her work is absolutely divine. And for those of you who don't know, Constance made a very specific outfit in Wonder Woman. And in fact, Constance may be in Wonder Woman. Here's Constance right now, playing the part of a seamstress. Anyway, go ahead and hit Constance up on her Instagram if you're interested in a absolutely brilliantly made costume by someone who does both historical reenactment as well as movie making. So she knows how to do things perfectly perfect, and she knows how to do things perfectly quick. You can give her a little message here and she will get back to you. Another great go-to for a commission would be Melissa Case of Hat to Hem. You guys may remember her because she was actually my Secret Santa last year and she gave me the cutest stuff. She does take commissions. She also has a YouTube channel, so if you want to check her out, you can check out her videos. She is currently bringing a new little crafter into the world, so we're all very excited. But she makes absolutely gorgeous clothes. You can check out her work here on Instagram or her YouTube channel. She also has a Facebook page and I believe a WordPress blog if you want to see more of Melissa and her work. If you're interested in getting a commission for her, go ahead and message her and find out what her rates are. She does excellent, beautiful work and she's very diligent. I'm suddenly realizing I probably should have just put Redthreaded down here in the corset making section, so I'll just talk about them again in a minute. But yeah, this is corsetmakingsupplies.com. This is where I get all of my boning and anything else I need to make corsets. They have busks, they have bonings, they have casings, they have wire. I mean, they have stuff for hat making. You can make underwear, leather crafting, just like all kinds of stuff here. But mostly, I use it for getting grommets, bonings, casings, that sort of thing. I really enjoy this site. They are cheap, they are fast, they are easy, their shipping is quick. These guys are awesome. Their site is easy to understand, depending on what kind of boning or whatever you want. They have all of it, basically. So everything in their boning section is, I mean, they do have unprecut if you want that too, but you can get pre-cut boning in every different kind of size you want, in both spiral and steel. I really like this chart method because frequently I'm coming here and I'm buying, I need 6 of these and 4 of these and whatever. You can also get a cheaper price if you buy it by the dozen or the gross, which is 12 dozen for those of you who don't know. Literally, this site has everything that you need to make a corset, including materials. So if you want corset fabrics, that kind of stuff, they have that here too. I can't recommend this site enough. It will come out on your credit card statement, or if you're looking it up, you can look it up at corsetmaking.com or Delicious LLC, which I'm like, I love that you named your corset site Delicious LLC. Okay, quick stop back by Redthreaded just to remind you that they also have kits for making corsets, although they seem to be out of all of them right now, and usually they also have busks. I do know that I think they got some more recently, so they should be up on the site, or Black Friday happened and they sold all the way out of them again, which is completely possible. So if you need a kit, you can also buy that, but you have to wait until she's stocked back up again. but there is a lot of supply sort of situation here that you can buy at Redthreaded as well. Next up in the corset category is Atelier Sylphe. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but I say Sylphe. Some people say Sylphe. I'm going with Sylphe. Anyway, this site is very interesting. It is, of course, an Etsy store. I like to roll over here. You can buy both handmade corsets that are already made. Please notice the waist sizes that are available, so make sure you get one in the size that you actually want. But also these antique corset patterns. So this is why most people roll into this shop, is to get some of these antique corset patterns. I have to warn you that these are the exact pattern from the exact corset that they had, and these are taken off of extant garments. So that means if this corset had a 22-inch waist, your PDF has a 22-inch waist. So this is absolutely something you can get, and you can size these patterns up. It's not very difficult to size up corsets because usually you can just slash and spread them. They get a little bit different when you have a lot of gores and bust gores and hip gores and stuff like that to deal with. But if you're starting out with pretty fairly easy corset patterns, like this one is just basically different pieces, you can definitely make these pieces bigger. So it just takes a little bit of experience. I would say that that's not a beginner craft that you might want to give a go, but I would say knock out a corset and then come back and try one of these, because it's not that hard once you know how to make your first corset. Definitely a historically accurate route to go, definitely a very interesting from a research perspective sort of route to go. You should check out what the original size was and know what your size waist is, so you know how much you're going to have to size this thing up. But if you have 8 panels and you need to go up 8 inches, you only need to add basically a half an inch to each panel, because you're going to have 8 panels on each side, which is actually 16 panels. So you only really have to add a half an inch. So the math sort of works itself out really well in corsets. It also works the other way though. If you're making a corset, if you make a 1/16 of an inch mistake, you can get a corset that's an inch too big. So be aware when you're working with these patterns that is the case. But other than that, this is a fantastic resource. Okay, a quick stop over at the Underpinnings Museum, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is a museum of underpinnings. And that includes everything from modern bras all the way back to corsets. The reason that I am bringing you here is because over in this merchandise section, they do have digital patterns. These digital patterns are, of course, usually corset patterns. They are, as far as I can tell, mostly Sparkle Run Corsets, who is a maker of corsetry out in the world. So if you are interested in any of these digital patterns, the proceeds of the sale do go towards the Underpinning Museum to help their collection. So like if you're interested in an 1860s gourd pattern and you enjoy a PDF pattern, you can grab that guy right there. And now we are at the site of the amazing Barbara Pensendorfer with Royal Black Couture. She has a separate website, but this is where she sells her digital tutorials, and I cannot recommend these enough. These aren't strictly patterns. They will teach you how to draft your own patterns for different kinds of corsets, depending on what you're looking to do. She also has like harnesses and decorative elements for corsets and other things like that. She makes corset dresses. She is absolutely amazing, and the precision on her corsets is stunning. I got to go hear her talk while I was on my European trip, and she is just absolutely riveting. She is so precise. Every seam is so perfect. I'm just in awe of her. You can buy bundles. So if you're interested in like learning basic corsetry skills, I bought, I think, this bundle here, so you can get a hooded vest corset situation going with that. Here's a cupped corsets bundle where you get 3 of the different types of cupped corsets and the tutorials that go with them. These are absolutely amazing. Can't recommend them enough. They are PDF downloads. They are worth the price. If you want to learn from a master, this is a great way to do it. Here we have Vanyanis, which is the home of Loana O'Shea, who is one of the Foundation's Revealed mentors, along with Barbara Pensendorfer. She also makes the most beautiful corsets. You can, of course, come here and get a bespoke corset made. You can also come to her shop and they have corsets for sale which you can order, and also other things that aren't necessarily corsets. These busk necklaces are absolutely beautiful. I am considering getting one of those. I just think that they're absolutely lovely. Also, if you happen to be in New Zealand or Australia, this is a great one for you because they do. Australia is an entire continent, but hey, it's closer than halfway around the world, which is what we normally expect Australians to deal with. Anyway, they have a school of corsetry at their shops. There is a shop in Australia and one in New Zealand for you to go to and learn things. So definitely something to come check out if you are available to do that. Get to the cities that these are in and learn from the masters. Friends in the UK/Europe, I've got you covered. Here is So Kirby. They are very much like CorsetMakingSupplies.com. They have a ton of products that will help you make corsets, bras, etc. They do have boning, fabric, all of that sort of stuff. So if you are looking for supplies, one of the places that I have on offer for the Europeans/UK audience is to go ahead and come on over here. They do also have kits, which I found very interesting. So if you're, what is a special corset kit? Let's go find out. Why is it special? Ah, you're making specific corsets. Okay, that's cool. Another brilliant site for those of you in the UK is venacavadesign.co.uk. I read this and I was just like, are they shut? No. Just keep scrolling, guys. They have boning, they have busks, they have aglets, they have eyelets, they have grommets, they have all the things. They have fabric, they even have fans and parasols. Let's look at the fans and parasols. Like, why not just wander over to fans and parasols, even though that has nothing to do with what we're talking about? Ooh, that's interesting. Anyway, this is a great supply store for those of you guys in the UK. This looks like it has lots of stuff that's beyond the scope of corsetry as well. So it might behoove you guys to roll on over here and check this out and bookmark it for later. And also, lastly, in my entire series of buying guide stuff for you guys is Farthingales. We've already talked about one Farthingales, which was a hat maker. Now we're talking about Farthingales, CorsetMakingSupplies.com. They, of course, also have millinery supplies because this seems to be a great crossover. So if you're making anything like bras or whatever, they're going to have that for you. And it also looks like tutus. That's very interesting. So it appears that they do have some corset patterns, including men's corset patterns, which I found very interesting. So these are good to come take a look at. Also, they have your standard set of corset making supplies. They have bone casings and busks and all that sort of thing. They have tons of couture. I came over here earlier and I was like, wow, look at all that couture. So if you are interested in making a corset and using couture as your functional strength layer, this is a great site for you to check out. They have a goodly amount of it, and the stuff that they have looks really beautiful. Ooh, linen. That linen couture? How strange. Wow. Anyway, Farthingales is very well respected in the industry, and it's a reliable and great source for you to come get your corsetry supplies. Alrighty, that concludes this buying guide. 3 parts was a lot. I hope it gave you a lot of resources in which to get things over the internet, since we're all stuck at home for at least the foreseeable future. Hopefully that's going to end soon, but this should also be good for those of you who just live far away from stuff, so hopefully it was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below. Let me know what you guys are working on, if you guys got anything off of any of these lists, like did you visit any places or were any of them your favorites. Also, if I happen to miss anything, please leave it down below and I will from time to time collate all of the suggestions. I hope you guys are having a great December, and I will see you guys later. Bye guys!